Kansas City is 6.5-point underdogs. For some reason, San Diego always has trouble winning on the turf there. On 10 News at 5, Billy Ray Smith had an explanation.
Frank Gans is their head coach, and he was their former special teams coach, so they're well-versed in the special teams. Their offense has good personnel, and they move the ball if the defense doesn't take care of their responsibility. They've got some speed on the outside and some good backs, and like I said before, a guy like DeBerg, you know, just one of those guys that have been around and knows how to win.
And by the way, Billy Ray Smith's still injured. He's got the bad calf, and he won't play Sunday probably.
That's too bad. Thanks for all that.
Go into Kansas City, do their best Jekyll and Hyde routine, and come home with a win. Chargers beat the Chiefs today, 24-23. San Diego comes out looking like the Chargers of old. First quarter, Babe Laufenberg, 39 yards to Quinn Early. Laufenberg passed for 167 yards and a couple of touchdowns. But the star this week, like last, Gary Anderson. Look at the moves. Anderson, a 31-yard touchdown run. He finished with 131 yards rushing. It's 14-0. But here come the Chiefs. Steve DeBerg, everybody's cast off, 71 yards to Paul Palmer. The Chiefs tie the game after DeBerg's short pass to Stephon Page. Chargers secondary still having problems. DeBerg threw 3 touchdown passes. Chiefs go ahead in the third quarter. The pass here is deflected, but ends up in the hands of Palmer. As usual, he just killed the Chargers. San Diego's defense, or rather offense, sputtering now, still in the third quarter. Ref says Babe was in the grasp of the lineman. Yep, it's a safety. And the Chargers are down by 9. Defense hanging tough, though. Martin Bayless with the sack, and after a field goal, Chargers looking for the winning touchdown. Laufenberg, interception, right? Wrong. Kansas City called for roughing the passer. Babe picks himself up, and with under a minute left in the game, goes 9 yards to Lionel James. Touchdown. The Chargers win it 24-23. Denver in town next week.
Trader Jack knows. Jack knows. Jack knows not only to make trades, but he knows when to make them. You know, get that slow season after the World Series, before the NBA starts, in a midweek when the NFL is obviously coming up on Sunday, and made another trade and picked up Walt Terrell, a 30-year-old right-handed pitcher from the Detroit Tigers. Now, he had to give up potentially a lot. This here, if you didn't see who was hitting this, by the way, this is rare videotape footage of Chris Brown hitting a home run on opening day. There's Chris with all that zest for the game, huh? Yes, indeed. And we had to look and look and look, because on this videotape highlight here, we have a Chris Brown base hit and a Chris Brown home run, and we have a Keith Moreland home run and a base hit. Hey, come on. This is some rare footage indeed. They traded Brown and Moreland to the Tigers in exchange for Walt Terrell, so they get the right-handed arm, in essence, that they gave up to the trade with the Yankees for Jack Clark when they gave up Jimmy Jones. And now, if all things are equal, if you give up the talent of Chris Brown and Moreland when he's hitting home runs, that's too much to give up for Walt Terrell, who was, what, 7-16 for the Tigers last year. But Moreland can't run, can't throw, can't field, and he's got to hit home runs, and he couldn't do that. He couldn't get to the warning track. So with that, you can't blame the Padres. And the idea with Chris Brown, I mean, Chris Brown is Chris Brown. I've been doing this 20 years, covering amateur and professional athletics of all different sports. I have never seen an athlete in any sport with less desire and zest to play than Chris Brown. Honestly, ever. So yes, they gave up their potential third baseman for the all-star type for 10 years, but I can't blame them because the guy wouldn't play. What are you going to do? So they gave up potentially a lot to get a pitcher, but they didn't really give up a lot because those guys weren't playing. So that's the trade that was made. And Otero was like 7-16 last year. The year before that he won 17. The year before that he won 15. And the year before that he won 15. And the year before that he won 11. So if he goes back to his old form, Terrell will be better, obviously, than what they had earlier given up, Jimmy Jones. The Chargers are going to Seattle. Why? Seems like an incredible waste of jet fuel. It really does. I mean, a charter airplane, what's that cost? Like 30 grand? Oh, the 2.5-hour flight each way to play these Seattle Seahawks. And incidentally, I shouldn't pick on the Chargers because they did beat Seattle earlier this year when they had some sacks, when they had a couple of interceptions, but they haven't won in the Kingdome since 1980. They're due. Yes, they are definitely due and are going for the Sunday afternoon game.
We probably surprised them a little bit, and we don't feel that we'll get away with that kind of thing going back up there. But if we just do what we do and do it well, then I think that's going to be enough.
If we put our minds to it, we can beat anybody in the league. So let's put our minds to it and do it.
I was going to have some background music over the rainbow or something, but I thought that would be unfair. The big heavyweight fight last night in Texas, the comeback of George Foreman, 40 years old. Lord knows what he weighs, and he's lost like 70 or so since he started. Here he is pounding the badungi out of the great Tony Fulalangi in a fight in Texas. This is George's 13th consecutive knockout on the comeback trail. Whatever. Do we have time for the hockey highlights? We don't have, it'll take like 10 seconds. It's the Boston-Quebec game of last night. That's all we need.
Lyndon Myers stopped praying. He wanted this Greg Smith a long time ago.
Those guys fought, went to the penalty box, came out again, and fought again.
What a sport.
What athletes. What incredible athletes.
They ought to get in the ring with Foreman. Be better off.
There's a thought. I want to see George on skates, you know? Having much weight on skates, holding on and hitting with one hand. I'd pay to see that more so than George fight as he does now.
Have a good flight.
Thank you very much.
Have a safe one, Ted.
Thank you.
Beautiful.